Hello everybody, have you ever wondered why some LinkedIn content gets engagement and clients while other posts barely get noticed? The truth is, results are not due to the latest algorithm updates or following generic artificial intelligence templates. Instead, it's about posting something unique. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create posts that will consistently attract ideal client opportunities without exhausting your limited time. So let's jump in straight away with step one. And before I did this, I try and teach people how to do something or take an action, but it didn't get any engagement. And even worse, sometimes people would tell me my content was so useful, they didn't actually need to buy my services. And then I was in Tony Robbins' studio coaching his clients, and one of their top speakers taught me a lesson. He reminded me that before 1954, people believed that running a mile in under 4 minutes was physically impossible for the human body, and nobody could do it. But then after Roger Bannister broke the record, within a year, 3 runners broke the 4-minute barrier in a single race. And since then, over 1,000 runners have done it. Why? Not because somebody gave them better running technique or told them how to tactically do something, but simply because they believed it was possible. And LinkedIn is exactly the same. When people get steps and advice, they get overwhelmed. But when they believe they can do something, they reach out to the person that helped them realize that for help. And I know what you're thinking. How do we do this? Well, the best place to start the content post is at the end, using something all the best creators do to leave the viewer with that new belief imprinted on their mind like a library stamp. And it's the same type of language structure you find in book titles, movie names, and even one of the greatest speakers of the ages, Aristotle, used to use them because he said brevity and contrast gets the mind to find meaning, which is sometimes called that aha moment. And you can see these structures on screen. And one of them is called an epigram and the other is called alliteration. And before AI came out, I actually bought books on how to use them. But now you can download the prompts in the GPT below to create your aha moment in seconds. And to do that, first of all, you're going to need to know the exact belief you need to change. And if you aren't sure on this, just choose not enough money or not enough time. These are known as universal beliefs. They cover 80% of the reasons people don't buy in almost every niche imaginable. So pick one and move on. But all of this is going to be useless unless people actually read the post to the end. And that's why the first line, sometimes called the hook, is so important in getting their attention. And I used to use AI, and most of my content posts would begin with something like, don't do this, or something no longer works, or XYZ is dead. But this doesn't work unless you already know people well. And to prove this, I want you all to go to your nearest shopping mall this weekend, head direct for the food court, and look for a stranger who leaves all their food and garbage on the table. As they're leaving, walk up to them, tap them on the shoulder, and say to them, you should do this, stop doing this, or it's the right thing to do this. Now, you might be 100% right, but the reality is nobody likes to get told what to do by strangers. I mean, I don't even like my mum ordering me around. And that's why until we have a big audience and lots of trust, like the big players, and we're no longer a stranger to them, we need to do something totally different in the first line. And the thing that works best will take you 30 seconds at no more, because research shows that once people feel understood, validated, and seen, they're more likely to buy. And what could show them more understanding than what they literally say to themselves in their mind? So simply think back to a conversation that you've had with an ideal client, which is simply the person most likely to buy your services, and they will always have shared their frustrations with you, which will be something like you see on screen. So simply start your post by saying one of those things quickly, and if it's video, say, this is something I hear every day from people like you. And if it's video, just use the upwards arrow, again like you see on screen, to separate the viewer's eyes from the initial quote. And now we're ready to write the rest of the post. And when I used to do this, I was always really confused about what to include and what to remove. And then I learned exactly what to say from a professional scriptwriter. And you can take on her decades of experience in the next 30 seconds. She taught me the same structure that makes you love or hate characters in a movie can do the same for you on social media. So people love and trust you, even if you were a stranger a week before. And this structure is sometimes called a character arc. And think about it. All the famous characters like Luke Skywalker, Bilbo Baggins in The Hobbit, and even Simba in The Lion King all follow the same steps. First, they set the scene and establish the main character's problem. Next, it shows the journey to resolve that problem, complete with ups and downs. And finally, it reaches a resolution or victory and shows the viewer the unexpected is possible. Remember that from the beginning? And inspiring people to believe it's possible on LinkedIn works the same way. Your belief change post just needs 2 to 3 bullets about where you were, what you did, and what happened. You can see on screen how effective this can be. But here's the catch. Even if you had an amazing experience, sometimes the best stories disappear without a trace. And conversely, if you don't have great stories, you can make them better, because reach and engagement is not just about the structure and what happened. It's about the exact words you use. And this is easy to sort out in 10 seconds because somebody already analyzed 20,000 books and found that the best sellers always had a high density of emotional verbs. And now we have AI. We can simply run the prompt in screen, which is downloadable below, by the way, and it will tell us exactly where to add them in for maximum effect. And when I did this, my engagement skyrocketed. But there was one thing that pushed it even more, and this will take you 2 minutes. Because in the latest LinkedIn algorithm, the biggest in a decade, LinkedIn started pushing posts further if they had an image, but only a certain type of image. And the one that will work best for you will depend on which bucket your target audience fits into. Bucket 1 contains creative industries like coaching, advertising, design. And these audiences tend to connect with faces. So use a selfie, but make sure it's positioned using the rule of thirds that professional photographers use. Position your face in the intersection points like you see on screen, and it will hold attention. But you might be bucket 2, which contains logical industries like finance, engineering, law, and software. And these audiences want data, and they want it fast, and they want you to get to the point. So run your post script into the app on screen, which is free, downloadable below, and it will transform your idea into a clean infographic that showcases dense information in a way that pops and people can absorb instantly. Just make sure you avoid colors that blend with LinkedIn's interface, like blues. And now you need to know what to say to people so that this content turns into clients and cash. Check out this video here that will show you how to manage all the conversations you get, or register for one of our events below. Have a wonderful day.